Thanks for joining us today for World Kitchen. Today we have a guest joining us who has been here a little over a year. She came from Afghanistan, and her food is very similar in a lot of ways to the Persian food that I'm used to, but also very different in other ways. So I'm excited to learn a little bit more about how to make the Afghanistan version of some of the things like the rice. We were just looking over a cookbook this morning at some of the Persian jeweled rice that looks very similar to the Qabuli Palaw she's going to make today. So I'm going to be learning along with you. But right now, I'd like to thank our sponsor, which is the Penn State Outreach and Online Education Office of Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity, for sponsoring World Kitchen for us again this year. And now I'd like to introduce my friend and my guest, Storai Jalali.
Hello, hi everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Storai Jalali. I work for Penn State Magazine Alumni Association. We came to State College last year, April 1st, and we love this community. And since that time, I just started teaching people about our culture, our food and stuff. And thank you for giving this opportunity to be part of the World Kitchen and make a very good dish, which is Qabuli Palaw, and it's a very famous Afghan dish, and no party or celebration is complete without this dish. Eat in weddings and when you have guests and friends and families. We have 100 kinds of different dishes, but the reason I decided to make this dish is because it's always the main dish on all the tables, no matter what celebration. So yeah.
Okay. I met Storai through some friends, but earlier, but then also because, like she said, she's been very involved in the community. She was a part of our WPSU Multicultural Children's Festival back in April, and we really loved her activities for the kids there. And she also did a really fun event at another place here in town at 10,000 Villages, explaining the New Year celebration in March, and the Afghan celebration is very similar to the Persian one again. So we have a lot in common in that sense. But I'm gonna go behind the scenes now and let Storai take over and learn along with you. As always, if you are cooking along with us and you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or put your questions in the chat. And if we're going too fast for you, if you're along with us, feel free to ask us to slow down or to clarify anything. So I'll let her take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tamra. So I'll just start over. You may already have the menu and the recipe like we are making it. So I'll just start what we have done before. I just soaked the rice today by 12 with warm water. So yeah, and also the other stuff I did is that I peeled the pistachios before and I put warm water, let it like for 15 or 20 minutes, and after that I just peeled it, and I also cut the carrots for the rice. But I also have one part here to show you how to cut it and make it like how I did it. And also before starting, I will say that mainly we make Qabuli Palaw with lamb shank, and then some people make it with beef, but we choose to make it with chicken. So it's no matter which meat you like, you can make it with any kind of meat, whatever you love it. So, and also, so we made all these preparations. I made the onions, and so we just.
Yeah, I want to clarify really quickly though, because I had never seen this. In all of my cooking with pistachios, I had never seen you blanch and peel the pistachios, and it was so easy to do. So we got raw pistachios in the shells. So we shelled them this morning, and then, as she said, we put them in the bowl, and we had boiling water. We poured boiling water on them and let them soak, and you got this cloudy brown water around them. And then you could just kind of almost like a grape, you could almost squeeze it, and the shell or the meat of the pistachio just squeezed right out of that.
Like this, and the skin will go off, and it's good. And also for the Tamara told me that there were kind of questions about making this dish vegan or vegetarian. So I'll just say to that all those friends who wanted to make this without meat is that, as I said, mainly this dish is made with lamb shank, but you can make it with beef, chicken, or even without any kind of meat. So you can just make it just rice with all these vegetables, and even it's your choice that you want to put all these like almonds, pistachios, and raisins or not. So make it any way you like or any spices, but I'm making it how we make traditionally.
And if they were going to make it vegan or vegetarian, we kind of talked about the fact that they could do some sort of a
Yeah, they'll
stock.
just like boil 1 or 2 cup of water, put like cumin and cardamom in it and a little bit salt, or if they want to put like any vegan stock or anything a little bit, and then when they boil their rice and put it back, then they'll just put that stock on the top of rice and it will take a good seasoning. Then you'll not need a meat stock or stuff. So yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, let's go. I'll just put one thing I will say that I've put like boiled water already made for the rice, and here is the oil that I put for frying chicken. So we'll just start from, this is one onion that I've chopped, and it's like regular, and you can chop it the way you want, so it's not necessary or any shape, so it's just for that. So I'll just put the onions in that.
So we just used vegetable oil, and now we're adding the onions.
Yeah, so I'll just the flame. Yeah. So with the high flame, just frying the onions until it's like golden brown. Let the onion fry, then until that I'll just go with the boiled water and add some salt in it. Okay, normally because I didn't remove the water, so I put like 1, and I'll say one other stuff that you can always add salt or oil or anything according to your taste. That's right, that there's recipe, so I make it with my own taste, and some people may like it less salty, more salty, or less oily or more oily, so they can always do it, change the amount.
So the salt that you're putting in the water is not actually going to stay, though?
No, it's just we'll boil the rice with it, and then I'll strain the water out of it. It's just to give the rice salty taste. I don't want this to like taste without any salt, so that's why, because even when you make some people make it that way, they like it, but when you put the stock, sometimes it will not go all over rice, then yeah, it helps a lot, so I like it this way. So we'll just fry the onion until it's kind of near to the golden brown. We'll not fry it much brown. Then I'll put chicken. So I have soaked this rice for, I soaked it by 12 with warm water. So I just remove the water and I'll put it in the boiling water.
Okay. So you rinsed it first, I remember. You rinsed the rice, and then you put it back in the bowl and added warm water, and you let it just sit and soak for.
It was just 4 or 4.5 cups of rice. So I added this much according to the, like, it's the number of people. You can add more or less, so it's doubled in size, you can see. Yeah. So I will use, okay, I'll just use it.
So you had the water already boiling?
Yeah, I just put it on boiling water and I added salt in it. So I removed every time I salt the rice with it.
So while you're doing that, can you tell me a little bit about the rice? Because we talked about the differences in the rice, that I use the typical basmati rice
Yeah.
in Persian food, but this is a specific basmati sela.
It's super basmati sela rice, kind
Yeah.
of. It's the kind of rice we use in Afghanistan. This rice will not turn out like sticky, and it's a little bit harder. So that's why, because we put like onions and stock in it, so it will go very well. And also it increases in size, and it's a very like good rice for this dish.
Yeah. So when we were looking for it, Storai had already done her homework and she's been buying it here for a while. So we were able to find it at Global Foods.
Yes.
In the Hamilton Plaza here in the State College area. But you can also find it online.
And from international market.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
Global Foods and international
Online,
market, yes.
it's available in Amazon. They also sell it, or if people they travel to Harrisburg, they can also find it from there.
Okay.
And much bigger packs are available there. So.
Oh, yeah. So I did see, because we bought like a 10-kilo pack, I think. They have a 21 at international market as well.
Yeah, and they have. So our onion is frying, and it added rice, and see the flame. Take one more for the rice. And put the lid until it.
So we used a red onion.
Yeah, it's they can. I like to use red onions because it gives a good color to the stock. So friends can use any kind of onions, white or red or any kind. So it's kind of browning a little bit. So I'm putting the chicken. I would say like I have washed the chicken and I already removed the skin. So if friends, I'm using chicken with bone because I would like to take some stock from it, and the friends can like use any kind of chicken they like, with bone, without bone, or even if they don't mind the skin, they can leave the skin on. So yeah.
So we just got a whole chicken basically.
Yeah,
and got
yeah,
it cut
and
up.
I cut it into pieces. I remove the skin. And
I know we haven't done much yet, but already the onion and the chicken is smelling good.
yeah, it's like when you start frying it, and then it's always good.
So I noticed that the dish that you're making doesn't really use garlic. Because garlic's not something that's used a lot.
You can put, or you cannot. So it's not a thing. Some people use, some people don't, because I put a lot of spices, and sometimes frying the chicken, it helps to remove like the meat smell. So that's why I don't use for this. Sometimes you can use it. It's not a big deal.
So there are a couple of questions in the chat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you answered it slightly, but why use the basmati? It's because it holds together better.
It's like this Sela basmati rice, I can say it's much more resistance with the meat and stock and onions you put, and it will not turn sticky too soon. So that's the reason that I use this.
And then if you were going to be doing this with lamb, like a lamb shank,
Yeah.
would you use the same amount, the same weight that you're using of the chicken, or would you use more or less?
Yeah, like if I make this much rice, I'll put 2 lamb shanks, and I'll fry the onion, then the lamb shank, and then normally, traditionally, we use pressure cooker for lamb. But if you don't use, no matter, you just put it in the water and let it cook. When it's like cooked, then put it in the rice. Yeah, so.
Okay, but the lamb you might have to cook a bit longer
than chicken, because yes, for sure, it needs a little bit more time than chicken. Normally, chicken, when you fry it and you put it like 5 or 10 minutes with a little bit water to take the stock, it will be also with the rice, but
Not the lamb.
not the lamb, yeah,
So-
or even beef.
So you said normally in Afghanistan you would have used a pressure cooker. Right?
Pressure cooker. Even like amazing thing is that in northern provinces, especially in Mazar-Sharif provinces, people make this rice with the pressure cooker when they use for their families. And I also brought my cooker, which is in Musa. So some people, mostly in other parts of Afghanistan, we use this cooker for the rice. This is called Imusa cooker, and it's good. So I also, when I have a lot of guests, like 10 people at home, I make the rice in it. Then it's also easy to put it in steam. I just put it in oven, not a gas, which is very good. Yeah. So, and also even in weddings that they put big cookers, they are made of this stuff.
Yeah.
We call it chudan.
It's almost like it's like an aluminum or something.
Yeah. I don't know what, I really don't know the exact word in English, but in Afghanistan we call it baby chudan. It's chudan, like we make it. I don't know what they call it in English. Yeah. Yeah. Rice is slightly boiling.
Okay, so once you put the rice in the water, you want it to just lightly boil for a while with the lid on.
Yeah, for a while. Then when it starts boiling a lot, then I will remove the lid because otherwise it will be water flow out. I don't want that. For first, I will just put the lid, and that after that I just. But I'm just turning the chicken every side, so I want it to fried on each side. So yeah, and I just now put a little bit salt because I really like chicken when it tastes a little bit with salt. So. Fry your chicken or any meat very well. So as much you fry more, that much well the meat will taste. So now it's boiling very good, and I'm removing the lid out of the rice. And I just slowly stir it a little bit. And I check one of it. So it's not yet ready.
So tell me a little bit more about your family. You came here with your husband and your 2 children.
Yeah, we came here August 2021 when the Taliban took over and all those issues, and so we were targeted, and then after that we managed to escape country, and we went to different countries, first to Pakistan and then to Doha, Qatar, and then we came back to Virginia. There was a place there keeping refugees, and then after that final destination State College. So it was last year, April 1st, that we arrived to State College, and we were lucky to meet very good people and made good friends. So we love it here now.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And your kids are in school, and
Yeah. My daughter is in school. In fall, she'll be a third grader. So my son was in pre-K, but in the fall he'll start kindergarten. So he's so excited. Especially he likes the school bus, and that was the only reason. So yeah, he loves to take the school bus to school and be a book buddy with his sisters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it common in Afghanistan for the parents to be involved in the schools or the latest year?
Yeah. So each month they will have like a parent-teacher meetings in Afghanistan. They call parents and like see like if there's an issue, they'll call you or send you an email, and you can always go to them if your kid have any problems. So yeah.
Yeah.
They communicate always.
But I was like, do the parents have like here we have the parent-teacher organizations where like the parents create events at the school or do other things in the school? Do they allow that kind of involvement?
They normally, for the events or cultural stuff going on, the school do take the art like responsibility. So they always celebrate it, and then they ask the parents to come and join us, and they make like specific outfits for kids. They aren't like singing groups or dancing groups. That I have some videos of my daughter when she was in kindergarten back in Kabul. So they mostly normally the schools they do celebrate stuff. But if you try to arrange, they may want. But because since the schools are doing all that stuff, we never done it. So, yeah. So they do it all. Like when it's Teachers Day or Kids Day, they always celebrate it. And yeah. So they'll have snacks and parties. And
we were also talking a little earlier about the culture of cooking at home in Afghanistan and here, and the differences in here, especially I think since the pandemic, eating out has gotten to be so expensive.
yeah.
I was mentioning it last night. Just one meal for 3 people from a local restaurant came out to like $75. That's outrageous,
Yeah.
So cooking at home has kind of become more the thing to do for a lot of people because it's just gotten too expensive.
Yeah, that's right. It's the same in Afghanistan as I discussed before. Like food out. First thing, we have a lot of restaurants that sometimes you're even not able to count, because in every corner, every street, you'll find one restaurant, like different kinds of cuisines and stuff. And they're also not very much expensive. We also have some expensive places, but not as much expensive as here. So yeah, I say that in Afghanistan, we are always planning at least 2 days or nights to go to a restaurant and eat, but it's not possible here because it's expensive. Yeah. So I'm just checking on rice because I normally check it with my teeth. I think it's now ready to strain it.
So what should it be like? Should it be still a little firm or crunchy?
When you put it under the teeth, it should be a little bit firm, not hard or not very much sticky.
Okay.
So when it's a little bit like softer to the teeth, then you'll also not like boil it a lot, because you need this to be that much to take the other stock and water from the meat.
Okay.
So, and also, I will just say that in Afghanistan, people do make or use different tricks for making this rice. Like some people make the chicken and they don't boil the rice, they just put it on that, boil it with the chicken.
Okay.
Or they will just use different ways. But I think since we have 1 hour time here, this is the easiest way, because rice will be ready, chicken will be ready, and you'll mix it up and put it for steam. So it's time consuming. So that's why I decided to make it this way.
Sure.
Yeah. So I'll put it in strainer.
Okay, she's over there straining the rice into the sink to strain the water out, and now she's pulling that strainer up.
Yeah, I'll just let it until I fry the carrots and raisins and other stuff. So, okay, I think now my chicken is ready to put some water. So I'm just using the very traditional way of like putting all stuff using my hands. So if you use a different way, you're welcome. So I will just put a little bit water like that. Okay.
So we were keeping some water boiling on the back.
Yeah, it will help you.
So that the chicken doesn't stop cooking.
Yeah, and also you don't need to like wait and see until the water boils in chicken. So yeah, I let it sit for some minutes until it boils and we get a chicken stock from it. And I'll change it to this place. Okay. Put the lid on because I also want the chicken to be cooked very well. We like more like Afghans. They mostly like soft meat. They cook it a lot because they want to have very good soft meat. So, and now this frying pan, I'm just putting for carrots. So I don't know if like before I'll just put it, just switched it off. Put this much. So I'll just actually move the side for just I'll just show how to cut the carrots and then I'll put the carrots slowly over that. So here you see that I've cut the carrots here. I just wanted to show you how to do it. So as I said, you're always welcome to use any type, like you want it smaller or bigger, but I like it this size. And I cut, like I had a bigger carrot and I cut it in 3 portions. So yeah, so I just put it like that. So some people do it different way, but this is my way.
So she's julienning her carrots, but she likes them in long strands. So I'd say like 2.5 inches or so is the strands that she wanted to make.
Yeah, so then after you cut, like slice it like this, then you put like as much layers you can put. So put it all together and just start cutting it like that. So I'm just removing them, it's hard to routine it that way.
So I know in a lot of cultures, it's they say you eat first with your eyes. So I think in a lot of cooking, you know, it's presentation and color and things are just as important as taste.
Yeah, it's like the history of Qabuli Palaw says that it brought up by the people who could afford like very lower, like upper class people who could afford like these stuff on the rice. And after that, it went to normal. So they liked it with all these stuff. And also the main important thing you pointed is that these colors give the rice a very good looking, which when you look at that, you'll feel like I really want to eat it. So yeah, it's important. So I'll just slice this one and I'll put it frying. I just did this because you should see how I made the carrots, how I cut it, or if you have any vegetable cutters who cut this way, you're always free to use those cutters. I tried 2 or 3 kind of vegetable cutters, so they were always thicker or thinner than this size, so I decided to do it by my hand. So yeah, so I'll just take these stuff here. I have a plate just to take them out.
So you're actually kind of deep frying them.
Yeah. So I like it this way, but if people don't like much oil, they can. Just Okay, then let me see if I remember which thing. Yeah,
Like the
something that.
strainer to take this out? Or?
Yeah, yeah. This. Okay, I'll keep it. So one thing I want to mention for this as well, you may, as I said, you may see different things, but some people, they also put a little bit sugar with this to caramelize it. I normally skip that because I want it more healthy. So some people in Afghanistan, when they put carrots for frying, they put sugar on the top, like not much, like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of sugar. It will give this more sweetness and also a very good, much more orange color. But I don't do it because I feel like I'll try to keep it as much healthy as I can. But people who like it sweet, they can always put a little bit sugar, and it will not change anything, just give it a little sweet. But then at the end, maybe it's not mentioned in the recipe, then I'll not do it, but I will, if my rice turn, because it's chicken, chicken is a white meat, then for giving a little bit color to the rice, then I will caramelize a little bit oil with sugar. And I'll put it that it will make some part of the rice brown, which will look good. So that's just for the look. You can skip it as well, but so yeah, I will show that process as well. So.
Do you drain that on a towel or do you just put
No,
it?
I'll just put it there. Because then I'll try to put less oil. I did put less oil in this, so yeah. And also you'll fry it until that time that you feel it's soft. So you check it with hand, and if it's soft, then you'll remove it. Will not like over fry it or less fry it. So.
And so I guess to keep it, make sure that the carrots are all kind of being deep fried. You kind of are doing it in a couple of different batches so that you're not trying to do too much at once.
Yeah. This, like putting more oil, this is good for timing. But if you have more time, you can put like less oil and fry it and get as much time as you can. But it's time consuming to just fry it.
Right.
It's like almost close to, and you'll try to keep stirring it because you want it all the same way. Especially with raisins, you have to be very careful because otherwise if you put it like a little bit late, then it will burn. So
So we today are using both the pistachios and the almonds. Is that you would typically use both?
yes, if I always ask my guests that if they're allergic to nuts or not. If they aren't, then I will take my time to use as much nuts as I can. But if people are allergic, they can always avoid using it. So I will just take them out. It's really, you see that it's changed a little bit. It's softer. So.
Oh, you're professional.
Yeah, just I've made it thousands of times. So yeah.
So you said anytime you would have guests over, this is kind of something you would be cooking.
This is the main dish. I say that we have hundreds of dishes, like we have different kinds of dumplings, meat dishes, vegetable dishes, but if you don't have Qabuli Palaw, your guests will be not happy in Afghanistan because they always expect this. It's the main dish.
Yeah.
If like in case some guests will come and ask you just make like beef dumplings for us, then that's different. But if you have a regular guest or a special guest, then you will have like at least 7 or 8 kinds of dishes. Like, but this is a must, even in weddings, because in our weddings we have a large number of people. Like the smallest weddings we will have is like 400 or 500 people.
Wow, that's a small wedding.
That's a small wedding. Like in our wedding, we had 900 people. So some wedding goes to 1,500, 1,200, or 2,000. But even in weddings, this will be on the table all the time. You'll have a lot of side dishes like chicken, beef, lamb, vegetarian options, dumplings, different kinds of kebabs, but always Qabuli Palaw.
So Kabul being the big city that it is, I'm assuming that you, for a wedding of that size, you would hire caterers, correct?
Actually, there are big wedding halls in Afghanistan that they handle everything. They have menus. You go check your menu and you decide which menu you have, and they have price for each menu, and it starts from 300 Afghanis per person. Let me guess, like it's like almost $5 or $6 per person. Then that's the lowest menu.
Yeah.
Then it goes to like 10, 20, or maybe 25. I'm just counting it as a range because the dollar rate changes all the time, so I cannot. It's approximately that changes. Then according to your menu and what kind of food you want to have, then you choose the menu. You will give them list of your gifts, like I'll have 900, and they always keep like 50 or 100 more to be in safe side. Then they take care of all stuff. So guests are there, and they have very big kitchens, and they are caterers, and then they take care of every stuff. So when it's summer, they serve you ice cream, juices before the meal, because we have like our weddings go hours and hours, so we definitely feel hungry. Yeah. And it's different, like every province in Afghanistan and every culture, every tribe, their weddings are different, and the way they celebrate is different. So I'm just saying the way we were celebrating. So you'll always, and maybe also in the United States, it will be different. Every family, or so it's the same there, but we are always like big wedding, big party people. So yeah. Big, and we never had guests less than 20 or 15, so always like with cousins and normal visits, 30 people at a time, and you have to cook. And
yeah, it was a lot like that when we would visit Iran. You know, my husband's one of 8 children, so between the husbands and wives and all their children, 30 or 40 people is nothing. It can get much bigger than that.
It's really nothing. Yeah, that's true. So I'll just check this. I'll just stir it a little bit there. So just need to change the place of chicken. Maybe I put the spices to give the chicken a little bit color. I want to let it be white. So yeah.
Okay, so now we're going with the raisins.
And you have to be careful with this. It burns too fast. It will just pop up like popcorn.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've never fried raisins. This is interesting.
Normally in Afghanistan, because we buy the raisins. It's not canned raisins like as they are or in packaging.
Mm-hmm.
So we clean them and we wash them.
Mm.
So since it's all clean, so I didn't use water, because when you put it with water in the oil,
Right. Yeah, you get the
Yeah,
popping and
so-
cracking. Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's
so
popping
it's
up
like
now.
popping up. Yeah, it will be like popcorn, and you have to stir it quickly.
Wow.
That's also fun.
Yeah. No, they're getting
Yeah.
very round and,
Yeah, and-
looks like Cocoa Puffs.
yeah, exactly. So it's the time to remove them all, otherwise it will burn. So that's how you-
Wow. Yeah. And then they deflate.
yeah,
And they look more like raisins than Cocoa Puffs.
yeah. Exactly. Some people also, while frying onions and chicken, they put tomatoes as well,
Uh-huh.
or tomato paste, but I don't do it. So I normally will give the chicken or meat color with the turmeric or paprika.
Mm-hmm.
So I will do the same here. I'll just put a little bit turmeric, because if you put almost like cardamom and cumin, it will also have a color. So now I will just, some people do, some don't, but I will just fry my nuts as well a little bit. Some people don't do it, but I like to do it because it will be a kind of shiny. It will turn out shiny.
Oh, okay. I'm still just in awe of the color of those pistachios once you take the skin off.
Yes. When you eat it, you'll never observe that they have that skin, but when you
Yeah.
put the boiling water, the skin gets thicker and it will be easy to remove them. This much will be fine. Pistachios. You see that it has a kind of shine,
Yeah.
which then when you serve it, the rice, then it will look very good. This is almonds, and you can use any kind of almonds or any way you can cut it, that's fine. So we just find this, and
This was the slivered almonds, yeah.
so we got this here. The oil got a little bit cool. So it's almost getting ready. Change the color, it gets a little bit lighter. Just do it this way. And you can smell the almonds.
Yeah, you can definitely smell it.
So it also, when eating the rice, it comes under your teeth, then it will taste much better than the regular almonds. So the friends who do this, they will definitely know. And so mostly, I think Indians, when they make their sweets and desserts, they do the same process. They fry their nuts with butter or ghee or any oil. So I'll just remove the oil and try to And I'll just say that I'll use this oil as well, like a little bit of, not all, because it's a lot. So I will just take care of the chicken stock. I think it's ready. I will, so friends, it's also,
Turn this one off.
yeah, it's also optional because chicken is very white. I would love to put a little bit turmeric to give it a color, and also cumin. But what I do is normally when my dad stuff nuts and raisins out, I will just, this is ground cardamom. And you can use the seeds as well. You can just put the seeds when we boil the water. So that's fine. So I will always do like cardamom like this. And so it should just be this. And then you put it like,
Putting cardamom all over the
yeah.
things we fried.
So
here.
people do it differently, but I like to put it on this. I don't put it much here. And one thing I know that Americans, they like cinnamon. So they can always put a little bit of cinnamon, not much, like I will show you this much of cinnamon in their rice. It will also give a good taste and color.
So this is the turmeric though.
This is the turmeric.
Okay.
And I will put more cumin because I love it. I will put two, and also while making the rice, I may put more.
Okay.
So, and then mix it, and now we will see the change of color in the broth and chicken. All the spices, it's dissolved in the water. And I also do one thing that I will taste the water. So I will go for a traditional way. Don't laugh on me.
No,
So for
of
tasting
course.
the water, so I will just do it. Yeah, it's good.
No, I love the traditional way. Of course.
Yeah, so that's how I do it.
Yeah, we have a very traditional way we make rice also. We call it the finger test. So when you put the water in the rice, your water, if you touch the very tip of your finger to the rice, the water should be to the first knuckle.
We do that
Right?
as well.
Yeah. And then when it's done, after it's steamed, you lick your finger and touch the side of the pan, and if it sizzles, it's ready.
Yeah, the way of making this rice, I told you that some people just they put more water and they don't boil the water and put the rice in it and they boil it. Then that's the range when they put the rice, and then they the water range they take with their like line of the fingers, and they say this much water. Then they let it boil, and when it's all dried out, they put it steam. And then our trick is that I will use it here as well, because when you put it on steaming, then you'll put the flame high for some minutes. Then you'll hear the rice popping up, like tickling, like a sound. Then if it starts like making that sound, then you put it on low flame.
Right.
So then, so you can see that how the chicken and broth, they change.
Getting
the
a little
color.
yellow and
And it will give the rice a very good color. So now we will do what I will take a small cooker and I will make the sugar caramelizing.
Okay.
I will now put the rice back in the cooker.
Oh, in the pan. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
See, you cannot roll into the basket. Yeah. So I'll take a small cooker. Small pan, sorry, just this one. So I just measure a little bit of oil with this.
Okay, so you're using the oil that you cooked the other
Yeah,
ingredients
yeah.
in. Yeah.
Of course. And I will say you can just use this oil for any food. You just remove the stuff and
Mm-hmm.
like kind of strain it with like the tea strainer or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'll put like 2 tablespoons of sugar in it.
Sugar? Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And see, I'll just put the sugar and I let it change the color. And until then, I'll mix the chicken in this with the rice.
Okay.
So, can you capture that, please, or should I bring that one here closer to that? This is a little bit more, but yeah, that. Just chicken.
Oh, okay, so you just lay the chicken right on top of the
Yeah.
rice. Interesting. Okay.
You can do this way or
Or just dump it.
just dump it.
Wow. All right.
Just free up some space. And I'll just make some space for the sugar. And just also for a little bit raisin, and I'll make her some space. More
Okay.
space.
All right. So you're keeping the chicken kind of to one side of the pot.
Yeah.
All right.
One side I put those in after sugar is done. You can see how
Oh,
it's
yeah.
caramelizing,
Browning the
changing
sugar, yeah.
the color. Sometimes when people like it with very darker color, they just let it, the sugar will boil on the oil, but I will not do it. So I'm just make it a little bit brown so you see how it changes the color.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to burn it, so that's why I'm just.
So you're not actually stirring it, you're just moving the pot.
Yeah, just moving the pot. And I would like to be like stand a little bit far because you hear sound.
Okay. So you just poured it all in one spot.
Yeah, one
Okay.
spot. Then when you serve it, then you mix it.
Okay.
So everything in every corner. Then
Yeah.
so now, so some people like
The
to.
sauce we are burning here.
Yeah. So some people like to put all these stuff separately.
Mm-hmm.
So I will also do the same way. I'll try to like spread it very good. Some people just mix it all together and they don't mind it. So just try not to burn. Maybe I should just use this. Just put it in this corner. So everything is in. So now what I will do is I will put a little bit, I will just powder a little bit cumin.
Okay.
Everything. And I'm saying like you guys use it as per your taste. You don't need to put as much spices as I'm putting.
Mm-hmm.
So there's one more. I'll go to the bigger thing. I'll switch this off and I'll put it all in here.
aluminum foil or a cloth? The cloth, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just put a cloth. A
To
clean
steam the
cloth.
rice. Yep.
Yeah. So if the friends or folks, they don't have cloth, they can always use aluminum foil or whatever.
In Persian we use the cloth because it takes
Yes.
some of the water out and keeps
Yes.
the rice separate.
So what I do is like I make holes
Mhm.
so that there's the water we put on the rice, it's steam on the top as well. And
Mhm.
so I'll make small bowl with
The
this
spoon, yeah.
spoon. Any kind of spoon. There, so you'll see now the
The steam coming up through those
coming
holes.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's little chimneys.
So as I said, we lit it with high flame until it starts like popping up. So in the lid, just don't want to burn the cloth.
This is my rice cloth.
Okay, so I will just see to the flame should be in the center of the pot or pan or whatever. So I'm just checking the flame to be in the center so it gives heat to all over the rice. So,
Okay, so while that's cooking, we're going to quickly make our salad.
yes. So I will just wait until I hear the rice popping, then I will make the flame very low. I will put it to steam, then I will remove the salad.
Okay. And how long would this normally cook?
It will go like 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
So sometimes it's quick 10 minutes, but as much as you put it on steam with very low flame, so it will be much better. It gives good time. So you can hear a kind of sound like, but I'm still waiting to hear that, like it's like talking. Yeah, like that.
Okay.
It's like you hear that sound because when all waters are resolved by the rice, then the oil will go down and it will kind of start frying the rice.
Okay.
Then that's why you hear that sound. Then you'll just lower the flame to let it sit. So I think I'll just wash my hands because I don't want oil for salad.
Yeah.
I'm hearing a little bit sounds.
Maybe the boiling water's too loud.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm hearing a kind of oil sound.
Okay.
So I'll just
Put it on low.
put it on.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they can hear it, but I can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just put it in low flame as much as I can. Yeah. You may be able to wear it helping, so now we just.
Okay. So we'll come back over here and we'll make this salad while this is finishing up.
I don't know what's the time right now.
We're right at an hour.
Okay. Okay, so this is a salad which is very common. You'll find it in even like in daily life or whatever in Afghanistan. So it's a very common salad that if they don't have any kind of salad, they'll always serve you with this. So I always like to make the salad like in thin and longer shape. Some people like make it like cubes, and so I will just make it the way I like. So I will just slice the onions thin.
Let's move up a little. We went to the overhead, so let's
Okay.
scoot up just a little. There we go. All right. Oh, yeah, it's very thin slices.
Yeah. So I like to slice them thin, and then I will just always do it like that. We call this in Afghanistan, they call it salata, but it's similar to Shirazi,
Salad Shirazi,
salad
yeah.
Shirazi, and maybe like, I don't know if Americans may just call it salad, but
Yeah, my uncle used to make something very similar to this, but he would use vinegar on it and let it sit in the vinegar. And he just called it summer salad because it was all the things from your summer garden. So it would be the cucumbers, the tomatoes, the onion, and maybe sometimes some bell pepper or something like that.
we also make it like, you know, like khiyar shor. We also
Yeah.
make it that way, the onions. So my husband, Murtaza, he always like slices the onions, or I'm so sorry, it's a little bit, so you see me tearing because the onion, it's
Strong, yes.
strong. So he makes, or it's available, you know, very small onions. It's also available. So he gets that or this, or he makes just slices. And so then we put it on, we mix vinegar with water and salt, and we put it in a jar or something. So we
Yeah.
also use it. And because these are very soft, the peels are soft, so I'm not removing the
Yeah.
peels.
These are the little Persian cucumbers that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
get here.
So I also like to slice it thin like that.
Okay. So cut it in half and then make the half moon very thin
Yeah.
slices.
So I think it looks better, so it's my taste, I don't know. So I think they look better when you slice it this way. So yeah. Sometimes in winter, when much vegetables are not available, then instead of, we also use these fresh, but instead of this, you can use like dry mint. I always dry in summer when I have a lot of mint, then I dry it under the sun, or so yeah, then I use that. Yeah, just put it like that.
So we were talking earlier today while we were getting prepared for the workshop about how, you know, in other cultures, especially in Middle Eastern cultures, cooking in the kitchen can be a real family thing. You know, all of the ladies tend to be in the kitchen cooking, and the men are out in the other room, you know, chatting and talking sports, and the kids are playing. But it's always, I always enjoyed being with my sister-in-laws, you know, even if I couldn't understand every word they were saying. You know, spending time with them in the kitchen and doing little things with them. It's always a nice feeling.
That's really enjoyable when you do that. So when it's also the same in Afghanistan, when mostly in winter, we also have a summer break, which is short, like 15 to 20 days. If the weather is too warm, then it goes to 1 month. But mostly we have the days like the winter off in Afghanistan, not the summer. So then during that time, then families, they plan to go together to the relatives. Then 2 or 3 family, they will come together, and then when you're in the kitchen, then all the women will come. Men will normally have tea and they're chit-chatting or whatever, but the women will always just all go together. Somebody will just wash the dishes, some will cook, some will make salad, and it's always easy to make a lot of food. And then they all sit together.
Yeah.
So yeah, because my knife is not too sharp, so I just cut it in half to be able to slice it. So you can always measure the amount of salad, like the onions or cucumbers, as much as you want. Like put it according to your taste. My husband likes it with more onions, but I like it with more tomatoes.
Yeah.
So just make it according to your taste. And it doesn't matter, we don't remove the water. So the salad, they normally like it with water, and some people enjoys the water out of, like, because when you mix it all and put salt, water will come off out of it.
All the vegetables, yeah.
And you put lemon, then it's like very good taste. So. And also some people will not put lemon, some will, so feel free to do it the way you like.
Yeah, when we make the salad Shirazi, which is very similar, we do the lemon juice typically.
Yeah.
And the mint.
Yeah, I like to put it when it's summer. I don't know. I like sour things more in summer, but not in winter. So it might be different, yeah.
Yeah, and today I am growing some herbs out on my deck garden. So we picked some fresh herbs, but again, in the winter, feel free to use the dried herbs that you might have access
dry
to.
powder, like also in recipe we have written cilantro. So it's not necessary that it should be cilantro only. So you can use basil, cilantro, mint, or any kind of herbs you like, or dill. My mom likes it with dill. Yeah. So she loves salad with dill, so she'll just put fresh dill or dry. She always dries a jar of dill in the summer. So, yeah.
So for your family, for this meal, typically it would be the chicken, the rice, and the salata. That's
no, actually with this rice, sorry, I'm just looking for paper towel. Yeah. So we normally here because of the onion. I'm so sorry. You just yeah. So with this rice, because we didn't have much time for today, but normally they don't take it just only rice and salad. So they'll always have a side dish with that. They would just make meatball. We have another dish like name called dupiaza, which you make it with any kind of like beef or lamb, and they cook it with onions.
So there would be multiple dishes that are the main dish.
Yeah, so they'll also have a korma, like vegetarian, like mix of all vegetables like carrots, cauliflower, like whatever. But also in restaurants, if you go for Qabuli Palaw, normally in very traditional restaurant, they bring Qabuli Palaw, salata, but just a small plate of small two meatballs, like kofta kalkali that they call it, meatballs, and the side kidney beans, the red beans. So that's famous in very local restaurants. So yeah, so I'll transfer it to a bigger bowl since I can just take it and see how the amount looks like. So, it looks good. So I just use half of onions because as I said, I don't like much. So I will we have taken mix of mint and cilantro, so you can use one, both, or any. So I'm just putting these and start from the other side.
I know my husband is watching today, so Mohammed, we're using some of the herbs out of the garden.
Yeah, thank you so much for growing it. I also have small pots of these at home, so we were just talking and I say like how happy I am that I'm seeing my tomatoes growing.
Yeah.
So, and oh, believe me, I am smelling a very good smell of mixed cilantro and especially fish from Tammy's garden. It smells so good.
There's nothing like fresh herbs. There really isn't.
No,
You
it's
can get
not.
by with the dried in the winter when you have to, but
Yeah.
fresh really makes a difference.
So it's like how I put. So I will use half of lemon and the other half I will use for like the look, and I will remove the seeds like this. And believe me, it's I don't know how you remove, but it's very traditional. I just remove with the knife, and I will just look every hole. Lemon squeeze. I'm sure your mouths are watering.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
Yeah.
It really does. Now, do you normally salt it? Or
Yes. I will just salt it. I will just slice a little bit lemon for the look.
Yeah.
And I will also use some mint and just remove the seeds. Could you please just because
Salt?
yeah, that's something. A little bit, yeah. Now I'll just mix it. Now look at so I will just say to friends that we all washed our hands before starting the show, so yeah, I'll take the serving dish all ready for that and just yeah. No,
This one.
Put it here and the other just just put it on the sides.
Put here under the camera.
Yeah. So I'll just a little bit like kind of design it. So you can do it if you like, or just okay, I just put it here. Because this dish is like orange, I will not put the lemons. So in the red one, I'll just like design it in a different way, like that. And then just put
Fresh mint. Yeah.
fresh mint. And some cilantro. So what? One thing we missing is that we always the people who like it spicy. Then they cut the spicy green pepper.
Oh, like a jalapeno or a spicy pepper.
Spicy. They mix it with that, or some people will just put it in the side. If anybody likes it, get it with that. So I'm not doing it because I know that Americans never like it spicy. So
well, when I make this for Mohammed, we will use the hot peppers.
Yeah, I just cut it in very small pieces, then I'll mix it with that. So salata is ready already.
Okay. So we have those ready.
Yeah. So I'll just shoot her once a little bit. See what's happening. A little bit more time. Are we on time? Kind of. Or not. So we'll just take 5 minutes more.
Okay.
Then after that, we'll just.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So-
right. Yeah. Let's see. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you do in your work here?
I am editorial assistant for the Alumni Association magazine, the Finisterre magazine, actually. So I do all the take care of the admin stuff there, like the ads, and there are a lot of little stuff I'm doing that. Yeah, so I take care of the expenses coming from our department, like the university system where to send by the CP, those reports and admin stuff, mailing magazines to the people, handling the email addresses of the Penestator. There's two, we have the A Penestator and the Penestator magazine. And of course, it's like all related magazine stuff and the issues we receive. There are some issues that the printer already mails, but there are some issues that we mail, or some people, like if there's a feature by their name, they ask to mail it. So
Sure.
there are a lot of small stuff I'm doing, and yeah.
And what did you do in Kabul?
In Kabul, I was a women's rights activist, and I also worked as an assistant director for a nonprofit organization. Before that, I was working for an international organization called Oxfam. First, I started working with Oxfam as a donor and contract accountant. So I've done a BA, and my specialization is finance. So that's why. So I started working from a very young age. Like I was 16 or 17 that I was working. It was before I started my degree. So when I went to degree, it was the reason I chose this degree was because I had experience in that field. So I was like, this is what I should do because I have the experience and I need a degree with that. So then after that, I just worked. That's like the last two jobs I have done. I was working with Oxfam as a donor and contract accountant. Then after that, I moved inside. I moved to program officer position. We had a project we were working. It was for youth. It was My Rights, My Voice, which was a youth program.
Working in human rights, it must have been really, really shocking when the Taliban came and took over.
It was really, because we were totally shocked that everything changed, in a day. You're just sleeping in the night, you wake up in the morning and everything is changed, and it wasn't easy. I remember.
Did you have any warning that it was going to happen?
Yeah, and my husband, he has 16 years of journalism background, and he was working with all like people, and also we both had a view like against Taliban, that, and he was writing articles and about Taliban and the work they were doing, like everything. So that's why we were targeted by Taliban, especially my husband, and even like they were searching for us. They went to, even after we arrived to United States, they were looking for us. They went to different places. To my Murtaza Zanko, he has a shop there in Afghanistan. They went to him a couple of times. They went to neighbors looking for us, but we were fortunate. We got out of that country. So
I know it's really hard to feel like you can't go home again, but we're happy that you're here and that you're safe.
Yeah, and I'm more than happy that, because I was nervous. Honestly, we both were nervous when we moved there, and I was like, but since we have been here, we are very lucky that we meet very good people, and the community and state college, they're very great, very good friends, loving people. And so then now we are just feeling at home. Even when some people, some friends who are in different states, they're just asking, why don't you think of like moving, come closer? And I'm like, no, I went to see like New York, New Jersey, Maryland, DC, Virginia, but I'm like, no, I don't feel it like home. So I feel safe here and good here. So yeah, it's always good.
Well, we won't call them out completely, but I know that Susan and Lewis have been very, very helpful with your move here, and known them for a very long time. So we thank them for everything they did for you.
Thank you so much. I've always thanked them, but now especially I really thank Susan and Lewis for the first dish they brought us, which was an Afghan dish. And because we were traveling 8 months all over countries, and we had no kitchen to cook, and we were just wishing for an Afghan dish after like spending 8 months around and not getting it. And when we arrived there and they bring like an Afghan dish, which was a pasta with beef, and you cannot believe me, they already know that how my kids are picky like in food, but they eat it all, and they were like, oh, this was so good. And I'm always glad for that we first arrived and we had that dish in front of us, and it was so good. And thank you so much.
Well, speaking of which, I know you're also going to be involved in a WPSU Keystone Stories. I know that the producer's already been talking to you.
Yes.
So if you want to hear more of Storai's story of coming here and what she went through in leaving Afghanistan, I think this fall there will be a Keystone Stories called New Neighbors on WPSU, and Storai's story with her family will be a big part of that.
Yeah, we're just looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So do you
we'll
think-
just
Yep.
we'll just get that. Okay. Should you put anything?
Yeah, put this here, and you can just bring it right over.
So here we
And
go.
do you want
Just switch off the.
what do you use to dish it out?
Yeah, just a plate.
plate. Yeah, like the small ones.
No, the bigger one. Yeah. I'll just remove the lid, and you see how beautiful it looks. Just take the meat.
Okay, so we're bringing the meat out onto a separate plate now. Smells so good.
Yeah, with I've seen, but with cumin and cardamom you put in this rice, it makes like it does a magic to the rice, and it always tastes so good. You can see that all the meat, it has a good color and it looks tender. And can I have another plate for the stuff? Thank you. For the toppings, yeah. That's the meat. I will just normally mix the raisin and stuff, so I will do it. So people do it different way, but I always like to mix it and put it, so I think it gives all the color I like. It will be mixed up, not like different. So. Maybe I'll just use one of these balls to take the. So you can see the color, the shine, and look at this caramelized rice. And now when I mix it, then it will be like.
Okay, so you're taking all the stuff off the top so that you can mix the rice separately.
Yeah, because we have to see we have a white color, a yellowish color, and a brown color.
Oh,
So we
okay.
have to mix it all, and I normally mix it with spatula,
Spatula, yes.
with this, because I don't want my rice to break down. It's safe. So look at this.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, and now see
The caramelized part. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like you have to mix it all.
Oh, it's very pretty. And seriously, the steam and the smell coming off this rice is just amazing.
Yeah. So we'll just now again I will go very traditional way. I just put it like that. Okay. Now we'll put the meat. Normally, when you have guests, they expect to like have meat with every bite they take. So yeah. So see how your guests are like. Are they they love meat or not? So so what I will do is just take these. I will just put a little bit more rice. And now I'll just mix it.
Gorgeous.
Wow. This. So this is it. Now we'll go to, I just transfer the nuts here. So to mix the nuts, it's like almonds, and I normally mix it because if you remember, we powdered cumin and cardamom.
Mm-hmm.
So to mix that spices and the smell. So then yeah, I'll just put that to the corners. So you can see it a little bit more with orange, green colors.
It's just beautiful. Yeah.
That's it.
Wow.
So we are just saving some more nuts. If some people like it to put more, they can always put it. So yeah.
Okay. So let's pull this all together here. And we have the beautiful, beautiful Qabuli Palaw. Or
Yeah.
I know you say it differently. Say it in
Qabuli Palaw.
Palaw.
Qabuli Palaw.
Palaw.
And this is our salad. And
Yeah.
you can have it. Normally, Afghans, they love green tea. So they put it like a glass of green tea and this and side dishes and enjoy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is going to be quite a feast tonight. I know you all wish you were here, and we do too, because this is going to be amazing to taste. I think Storai's family might be coming over shortly, so we can all have dinner together with her wonderful meal that she's created.
I hope you make this, and of course, I'm easily available. So if you had any question, you can reach out or I can help you. And I wish you will be able to make this dish and taste it and let us know how
Yeah.
you liked it.
Right. And if you did happen to cook along today, or if you happen to make it in the future, please send us a photo so we
Sure.
we can see what you did and see your creation as well.
Yeah, and hope you enjoy and like it, and a taste of Afghanistan maybe for the first time in state college.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So this video will be available within the next week or so once we get it edited, and we'll get it up on our website. And then keep an eye out early in July, early in July for the next World Kitchen. All the information will be on the website by early July.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.